Texas Tech and Arkansas are set to battle in the Sweet 16. And in today's video, we'll discuss the latest injury updates for not only Texas Tech, but the Razorbacks, as both teams look to get a valuable piece back in the rotation. We'll give the latest updates from John Calipari, as well as Grant McCasland, and much more. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast, and I'm really excited about this game. I think Arkansas, they're living up to their expectations right now in terms of preseason. They were 16th in the AP poll, but they've gone through a roller coaster in year number one of John Calipari up there in Fayetteville. But Grant McCasland and crew didn't get as much love in the preseason, right? But proved through the second best conference in America that they are one of the more formidable teams nationally and not just in the Big 12. And both teams now look like they may not be close to, at least not at 100%. They'll be close to it, but maybe not right at 100%. And they'll get a couple of guys back in this game potentially. We do know for sure on this front, as we get into the injury update, that Thiero, the forward hybrid guard, he's just a really good player who transferred from Kentucky with John Calipari to Fayetteville in year number one of his tenure up at the University of Arkansas. On the Pat McAfee show, Coach Calipari said he's back. And now it will be limited in some ways. He talked about how they had Boogie Flan come back and he played about 15, 18 minutes, right? Made a couple of critical plays for the Razorbacks in their first two matchups in the NCAA tournament. But now you get a guy back that is the leading scorer for the Hogs. He did not play in the first weekend at all. He will be limited according to Coach Calipari, and it sounds like it's going to be in that 12 to 15-minute range. So Arkansas looks like they're going to be not right at 100% in terms of the minutes aspect of it, but in terms of their rotation and having the guys that they typically would have in it, it looks like they're going to be as close to 100% as you can possibly be at this time of the year. Now, when it comes to Texas Tech, this is where things get interesting because everybody wants to know, is Chance McMillian going to play? And for those that don't know, Chance McMillian did not play in the first two rounds of the NCAA tournament due to an ab strain. Believe it happened against Baylor in the Big 12 tournament in their matchup with the Red Raiders, where they held on and ended up losing to Arizona the next night up there in Kansas City. There were some interesting comments, though. Chance McMillian, after the Drake game, so the round of 32 game, said, "I'm not too far. Pause. I'm getting there." Okay, like in terms of, okay, that's kind of what we're expecting here, right? But Grant McCasland had a very interesting quote. And this was right before the team left for San Francisco with local media out in the 806. McCasland says, quote, "Yeah, well, we haven't actually been completely healthy. And we're getting guys back where everybody's practicing. At this point in time, it sounds like Chance McMillian's going to play. Unlike Thiero for Arkansas, I don't think we're going to know for sure that Chance McMillian is playing until we see him either in sweats or in game day gear, like in uniform, right? I think that's what it's going to be. Maybe he does some walkthrough type stuff in terms of in front of the media out in San Francisco on Wednesday, the day before Texas Tech plays Arkansas in the Sweet 16. But actually knowing concretely if Chance McMillian is going to play, I don't think we're going to know that until maybe an hour, 30 minutes before game time on Thursday night. Now, another interesting factor in all of this is the fact that Grant McCasland brought this up, that Christian Anderson, and he did so with Level and Hacks on the radio before the game there against Drake, that Christian Anderson was dealing with an illness the first two games of the NCAA tournament up there in Wichita, whether it was a stomach bug, whatever it may be. He was just under the weather a little bit. I think that tells you and explains quite a bit what happened to him up there because, sure, true freshman jitters in the first round, the second round of the NCAA tournament, that's part of it, right? Like that is 100% part of it. But also at the same time, CA is not going to shoot like that anymore. We know what Christian Anderson is. He is a bona fide freshman superstar in every sense of the term. He's going to get back on track. So that's positive for Texas Tech. And oh, by the way, he may have, been a little bit under the weather. I believe he played north of 35 minutes against Drake. I believe it was 38, could have been 37, but either way, just an absolute dog type mentality by CA. Didn't have his best game, but he battled through it. So that is huge at this point. But again, the big news on the Texas Tech front is this. Chance McMillian, in all indications, is trending towards playing in San Francisco. How much is he going to play? That's the big question, I think, at this point, because you think about it from the Arkansas side, they get one of their stars back, and their coach, again, Coach John Calipari, has already said, like, hey, like, he's going to play 12, maybe 15 minutes tops type deal. Is Chance McMillian in the same boat? I think that that's probably the most likely outcome, right? I think it would be surprising, maybe even shocking to me if Chance McMillian went out there and actually played his normal allotment of minutes. In fact, I think that that is way out there in terms of things I would not be able to, foresee for Texas Tech. But just having Chance McMillian back lengthens the rotation, takes the load off of guys in terms of having to play north of 35 minutes. And we've already seen Grant McCasland has been fantastic about being strategic with guys in their minutes in terms of when they are, battling through an injury or coming back from injury. So again, Chance McMillian, it sounds like he is trending towards playing in San Francisco. The biggest question now is, what does that do to the rotation and everything like that? I don't think I'm worried about D5. I know I've had some people in the comments here on videos ask, is D5 okay? He came back and played and absolutely balled out against Drake. Even he said he was being dramatic. Now, Grant McCasland did say that's not what he told him in the huddle. But it's one of those deals where I think Texas Tech is looking at, just like Arkansas, getting back one of their key and marquee players in terms of Thiero for the Hogs, and then you've got Chance McMillian for Texas Tech, who is one of the elite snipers in all of college basketball and just allows you to be one step deeper, right, in your rotation, where you get Christian Anderson back to where he's thrived, which is coming off the bench and being that microwave type scorer, right? It allows you to put Kevin Overton, in a little bit better of a spot, right? Kerwin Walton in a better of a spot, so on and so forth, even if it's limited minutes, which I think should be the expectation if Chance McMillian does play. Truthfully, I think that should be the expectation, right? It allows Texas Tech to have a guy that, again, I think people don't remember. Chance McMillian was an all Big 12 second teamer. Like, this is one of the top 10, at worst, top 12 players in the Big 12. Okay, he's a bona fide star on the outside, and you could use him for any stretch in this game, because this game is going to be hard fought till the bitter end. You've got one of the best coaches of all time on the other side. You've got one of the best highly respected young coaches in Grant McCasland. In terms of, when I say young, I'm talking about his experience as a P4 or P5 in the college basketball ranks head coach, but he's proven. And even Coach John Calipari has basically come out and said, like, man, when I turn that film on for Texas Tech, man, they pop, right? And obviously he's going to say some high praise. We're talking about two Sweet 16 teams here, right? But at the end of the day, this is what you want to see. If you want the best game possible, right, you want both Arkansas to be healthy and you want Texas Tech to be healthy. And as of right now, it sounds like both teams are going to be as healthy as you possibly can be going into what should be a really, really fun Sweet 16 matchup out in the Bay. All right, that's going to do it for today's video here on the channel. Appreciate y'all tuning in. We're having a hell of a week here on the channel. Appreciate all the support, the love, everybody reaching out comments-wise and being interactive. If you want to join the largest group of Texas Tech fans here on YouTube, it's really simple. Just like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell to stay in the know on all things Texas Tech men's basketball, whether it's in the portal or on the hardwood. We've got you covered. And as always, I'm RC Maxfield, reminding you to stay safe and Wreck 'em Tech.